Welcome to Maximum Attack Rallying. It is Tuesday, which is not normally a day that we would do a video, but there is some drama bubbling away in Rallyland that I wanted to address with this very quick explainer video. So yesterday, under the guise of the World Rally Drivers Alliance, a statement was issued, and I want to read that to you and let you know what it's all about and just give you a quick background on why this drama is happening. So, as I said yesterday, 24th of February, the World Rally Drivers Alliance issued the following statement that I will read for you right now. The rally drivers and co-drivers of WRC, inspired by their GPDA colleagues, join together to express their opinion, seek clarity, and cooperate towards a brighter future. First and foremost, we wish to state that, as is the case with every sport, competitors must abide by the referee's decision. The respect of this principle is not in question. We are not all full-time professionals, yet we all face the same extreme conditions with the same relentless passion. Whether navigating through dense forests, across frozen roads in the dead of night, or through the dust of treacherous gravel tracks, we push ourselves to the limit, against the elements, against the clock, and against our own limits. Beyond racing, our role has expanded. Today, rally drivers and co-drivers are not only athletes, but also entertainers, content creators, and constant media figures. From the smartphones of spectators to the official WRC cameras, we are expected to be available at all times, before, during, and after competition, from dawn to dusk. WRC has always recognised our responsibilities and commitment to collaborate in a constructive way with all stakeholders, including the FIA President, in order to promote and elevate our outstanding sport for the benefit of all. In recent months, however, there has been an alarming increase in the severity of the actions imposed for minor, isolated and unintentional language lapses. This has reached an unacceptable level. We strongly believe that common colloquialism cannot be considered and judged as equal to genuine insult or an act of aggression. Non-mother tongue speakers may use or repeat terms without full awareness of their meaning and connotation. Seconds after an extreme adrenaline spike, it is unrealistic to expect a perfect and systematic control over emotions. Rally is extreme. Risk level for the athletes, intensity of the focus, length of the days, all the limits are reached. In such a case, we question the relevance and validity of imposing any sort of penalty. Moreover, the exorbitant fines are vastly disproportionate to the average income and budget in rallying. We are also concerned with the public impression these excessive sums create in the minds of the fans, suggesting this is an industry where money doesn't matter. This also raises a fundamental question: where does the money from these fines go? The lack of transparency only amplifies concerns and undermines confidence in the system. Surely the negative impressions surrounding these penalties far outweigh the impact of any language lapse. We call for a direct communication and engagement between the FIA President and WRC members to find a mutually agreeable and urgent solution. Sportingly, the rally drivers and co-drivers of WRC. Now, this statement follows a similar statement issued by the Grand Prix Drivers Association back in November. So it looks like rally drivers and co-drivers are standing firm with their F1 cousins. So this is a story that has been rumbling on for some time. So last year, the FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem, he expressed concern around the use of language in motorsport, particularly in F1, with drivers swearing in press conferences. Under Article 12 of the FIA regulations, there are rules now around the use of language that can be considered to cause moral injury to the FIA. So this is basically the FIA saying, don't say mean things about the FIA and don't use bad language. Sébastien Ogier fell victim to this last year in the Acropolis rally. He criticised the organisers for not leaving large enough gaps between cars. That left a lot of dust in the air, and he was given a €30,000 suspended fine for his comments, which were deemed to be in contravention of those regulations and direct criticism of the FIA. Meanwhile, over in F1 at the same time, Max Verstappen, he was given a public service order for using bad language in a press conference, and this has caused some consternation amongst drivers, to the extent that at Rally Chile last year, both Sébastien Ogier and Oyk Tanak were very reluctant to speak to media and said that they didn't really know how to act. So there is lots and lots of background to this, and this has been rumbling on, as I said, for some time. So we can't talk about this without talking about Adrian Fourmeau and what happened back at Rally Sweden. In January, the FIA clarified and issued a new structure for fines, and it's important to understand at this point the the exact regulations around swearing and misconduct. So the FIA classifies misconduct as the following: the general use of language, written or verbal, gesture and or sign that is offensive, insulting, coarse, rude or abusive, and might reasonably expected or be perceived to be coarse or rude, or to cause offence, humiliation or to be inappropriate. Basically that means using naughty words is a bad thing. Now, as most of you probably know, Adrian Formeau received a €10,000 fine at Rally Sweden because he said at the end of the power stage that he effed up his weekend by crashing into a snowbank on Saturday. That earned him a fine and also a €20,000 suspended fine should he repeat that. So that is the backdrop that seems to have prompted this response from the Rally Drivers Alliance. Obviously, in the wake of this statement from the World Rally Drivers Alliance, the media have approached the FIA looking for a response, and that response has been to double down on the regulations and on their position. So dirtfish.com asked the FIA what they thought, and they said, that this is a standard type rule, and that it's standard across many sports, and that the drivers are role models and should act accordingly. So I don't think there's any surprises in that reaction at this stage. This will, I suspect, keep rumbling on. They have said that each case would be looked at on an individual basis due to the nature of rallying and to the nature of sport and how people's emotions can be reactional and in the moment. However, I think this is going to continue, isn't it? I don't think this is the last time that we're going to hear a driver swear, so expect this one to keep on going. The short answer is yes. I think the drivers are absolutely right to be concerned. I think that this is a major issue, and I can see why there is major concern. These are big fines. As they said in the statement, lots and lots of drivers are not earning lots of money. Many of these drivers are paying for their seats, or at least contributing to their seats. These are not always multi-millionaire professionals who are on massive contracts, so significant fines could be problematic. More importantly though, I think we need to remember that rallying is an emotional sport, and that seeing these interviews, especially at the stop lines, these are moments of emotion and moments of pure reaction. And I think it is unreasonable to expect drivers to instantly switch off the adrenaline and just react in a very calm and controlled and measured way. I think for me, if we're talking about use of language, if we're in a media zone back in the service park, they've had a 30, 40 minute, one hour even road section to calm down and gather their thoughts. That's different, isn't it? I wouldn't expect a driver to swear unnecessarily in a media zone because they should have their media hat on, for want of a better expression. But as I said, at the stop line, this is pure emotion. The adrenaline is there. I think it's ludicrous to expect them to just be, in media mode and to not use any language. I think I'm not saying they should swear constantly, because they shouldn't. No one should swear constantly. Even in your day-to-day life, if you're swearing constantly, you should probably ask yourself some questions. But, in a moment of reaction, the odd lapse is not really something to be punished in my view. And I think we have to be very, very careful indeed on two fronts. The first is that if we push this too hard, we will reach a point where drivers stop communicating with the media. We've already seen this last year in Chile. Ogier basically stopped talking to the media, which is not a good thing, and it left Oitanak, as he said, he didn't really know how to act around the media, and that is a big, big danger. We don't want to reach a point where the drivers just stop talking, because if the drivers stop talking, you lose the story, and that is the whole point of motorsport, isn't it? The other issue for me is one of consistency. If you look at Rally Sweden in particular, both Elfyn Evans and Oliver Solberg both said SHIT at one point during the rally, but they weren't given a fine. So how can we have it so Formeau is given a fine for swearing and two other drivers that swore were not given fines? So I think there is an issue of consistency there. So for me personally, I absolutely stand by those drivers and co-drivers in this statement. I think they are perfectly right, and I think there has to be a discussion with the FIA about this, and we have to look for a more effective way to deal with this issue, because right now I think this model isn't working. Rallying is unique in that the media have access to the drivers in the very, very heat of competition. These stop line interviews are at the very peak of their adrenaline, so I think we have to look at that in a different way. So anyway, I want to wrap this up because I appreciate that it's gone on a little bit long. I hope that has explained the situation to you, and we will see what happens. As always, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think below, and I will see you again next time.